So good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. Of course, yes, I have a very special guest with me, a fellow vlogger, fellow top vlogger, Mr. Primo Vision. What's happening, Primo?
Bless up, bro. Respect. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Big up all the viewers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. As always, man, it's a pleasure. By
Yeah,
the way, guys, I'm gonna be putting Primo's the link to his channel in the description, so you guys can just click on the title, and you'll see the link in that section that comes up. You can go over there and show Primo some love. Primo, you're almost at 2K subs now, don't you?
yeah, man. We're about 60 subs from 2K.
Guys, get Primo to 2K subs. Don't play and get Primo to 2K. All
Yeah,
right.
man. I want to tell them so I appreciate the support. Cause you know what I mean? We have a lot of viewers that go across all platforms. I want to tell everybody say I really appreciate the support and the amount of growth that we have seen in the short time. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
really
man.
appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Cool. All right. So, guys, we have a real serious topic that we need to address. You know, we have touched on it a bit in recent times in light of the Andre Gray interview, right? And, you know, other vloggers have touched on it as well, Military Guna, Talawa TV. But it's something that we really need to discuss in light of a new article, right, that has come out on Leon Bailey in a top international publication. All right, I'm going to share it right about now. It's up. There you go. All right, so I'm going to read through it a bit, and then we're going to discuss it a bit, right? So the headline reads, Joke. Some Villa fans rage at Tuesday update on £25 million ace that could cause real problems, right? So you see the picture of Leon Bailey there. Aston Villa winger Leon Bailey has been selected by Jamaica ahead of the Reggae Boyz November FIFA World Cup qualifications, right? However, despite Jamaica boasting an impressive squad featuring the likes of Mikel Antonio, Kemar Roof, Bobby Reed, their qualification campaign for the 2022 FIFA World Cup has been nothing short of disastrous, right? In 6 games, Jamaica have won just 1 game, whilst the likes of Mexico, Canada, and the US are pulling away at the top. The top 3 in CONCACAF group automatically qualify for Qatar, right? With Jamaica eager to make it to their first World Cup since '98, no wonder they have called up Bailey despite his injury concerns in recent weeks. But, and this is the important part, but the decision has not pleased Villa supporters, right? With Bailey having to travel over 10,000 miles in the next few weeks, with Villa fans on social media are fuming that the attacker is again at risk of picking up another injury. Here's what some Villa fans had to say about Bailey being called up for Jamaica on Twitter. What an absolute joke. These international breaks are doing something wrong to the teams. Far too many to gather momentum for teams, right? Internationals this year are causing real problems. I'm sure there isn't normally this many. So there are apparently more internationals this year than any other year. It's the last thing we need,
Oh
just
boy.
as he nearly back to full fitness. I do feel for Smith, no luck at all, but he has to get results soon. Terrible news. Please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt, right? You guys basically seeing all the comments, and there are more, of course, when you go on Twitter. Primo, this is a big deal, right? Big
Yeah.
deal. What you make of it, boss?
All right, I'm gonna get into a couple points. I'm gonna take from it. All right, first of all, it's written by Dylan Walsh of HITC, right? I'm
Yep.
gonna look up Dylan. Dylan is an Arsenal fan. Um, Dylan, I'm not gonna beat you too bad, but you have a couple mistakes or a couple things that you overlooked. I don't know if it was on purpose or what. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, the first thing is about the start to the campaign that Jamaica has had. Yes, it's true. It's been a really poor start. but the last windows was probably the most productive we have been, and the team is
True.
looking better. It's not perfect, but they're looking better. But in regard to one of the main reasons why that start was so bad, the British clubs played a major role in that. Man, I take back
True.
that thought that that's just how I feel. Between the British clubs and the UK government regulations when it came to travel restrictions and so forth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That definitely cost us majorly in the first couple of rounds. We couldn't bring certain players to certain countries in Central America. Um, they came to Jamaica. We couldn't have a complete squad train together. So as the restrictions have been lifted slightly, so we have seen the performances picked up, right? A lot of players also have been prevented from joining. We've seen the last window, Jamal Lowe was pulled mid qualifiers. After playing one game, he was recalled by his club.
Yeah.
Understand? We saw
Yeah.
the situation with Michael Antonio.
Yeah.
And shout out to Military Guna. I just saw his post on Instagram regarding Anthony Grant not basically being shut out of the Swindon team
Yeah.
since making his international debut.
Yeah.
All right. So we have quite a few factors that affect us as a team, especially when it comes to the players coming out of the UK. The other thing where them fail for overlook, I don't know if it's the author or the thing there, but correct me if I'm wrong, Formula. When they bought Leon Bailey, he was not fit.
Exactly. Exactly.
You understand? He went to the Gold Cup and he played what, 1.5 to 2 games,
2 games. 2 games if memory serves me right.
and hasn't represented the country since, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
All
much.
right. So he's been struggling for fitness since then. So that's another inaccuracy, and how people have to look at it fairly.
Yeah.
Now on the other side, this is the last point. We understand that Villa season isn't going as expected. So Mano say, yo, there's a lot of toxicity in the fan
Hmm.
base, certain
Hmm.
way.
Yeah.
So people are gonna be bitter about and find even the slightest things to be, you know what I mean, to complain
True.
about. Yeah, because it's
True.
that's how it go when your club now play good.
Yeah,
It's not
man.
Villa alone, any club, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's the flip side of the coin. But when you look at it, I don't think it's a fair perspective from the journalist's point of view, or even how some of the Villa fans are look at it. From a reggae boys fans perspective, you know what I mean?
And I mean, it's not even, I mean, look, Villa had a poor preseason that has nothing to do with Jamaica.
Yeah,
Nothing to do. They had a poor preseason, and I think that's the main issue for their struggles right now.
yeah,
But, as you pointed, Primo, is a number of players having issues. I mean, Military did the story and Grant. Cataract has spoken about Grant,
yeah,
right? And we all know the link between Cataract and Grant. And just
mm,
basically how the player, has not played, right? This player, I want to point out something interesting,
yeah. It
There
was
was
a staple in that team.
exactly there were 6 games before at the between the start of the season and the Mexico game for Swindon,
Yeah,
right? Grant started 5 and he came on as a sub in the other one. The one that he came on as a sub in was the cup game. He started all the league games, and from then, from he
he has
got the
not
call
played.
up for Jamaica, the
He has
player
not played.
has not featured for his club. And Cataract, Cataract kind of implied what is taking place, that Swindon does not seem to be happy with him coming to represent Jamaica.
All right. Let me show you something. There are 3 players that have been called up. All right, let's say the distance. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
McGinn from Aston Villa. We're talking Aston Villa team. You have McGinn that has been called up for Scotland, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Matty Cash that is going to make his debut for Poland. I
Mm-hmm.
have Leon Bailey, who is going to play for Jamaica or has been called up for Jamaica. So
Yeah.
on the entire squad, they have 3 players. Is it a case of a club not used to international football as a part of their culture?
Not a club of Villa standing. Not I mean, Primo, this is something to be fair, I think here's what the issue I think is, right?
Mm.
I think that in light of the whole COVID struggle,
Mm-hmm.
the bunched nature of the fixtures is kind of really aggravating clubs more than it
Yeah,
has ever had.
yeah,
This has been a long time issue, but I think it is being aggravated now a lot worse than it was previously.
yeah,
Ray doing interview, right, talking about, just basically how when England calls, it's not a problem. But
yeah,
when Jamaica calls, it's an inconvenience. You guys saw the interview with Talawa,
yeah.
with Grant. I just want to talk some quotes from that
And
interview.
that's not in the opinion of the player. It's in the opinion of the clubs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so
Joel
I just
Grant,
want to clarify that.
Joel Grant said they see it as a holiday. They don't take Jamaica seriously. Right? My question is, do we need to earn respect in terms of, you know, build our footballing pedigree, so to speak, to be
Of
able
course.
to get these the respect? He
Yeah,
says
we are to blame for part of it, as in the administration. But yeah, finish.
the lack of professionalism as well.
Yes.
He says it's hindered me at times. That's very important. I have had problems with managers before where they question my commitment because I go to play for a holiday, right? Saying that it's a holiday. When I go to play for Jamaica, rather, saying that it's a holiday, right? And I think especially lower league players will have these problems because the league, from my understanding, is continuing even when international break is taking place.
The funny thing is, it's far in reality, it's far from a holiday. It tends to be a major eye opener for a lot of the overseas players when they come here and have to
Yeah,
be in CONCACAF, because I think some of them think it's going to be an easier level of football,
exactly.
and they realize it's different, but it's not easier. You
Exactly.
understand?
Exactly.
So, and it's not the first time I've heard that sentiment um, coming out of the clubs in the UK, that it's looked upon as a holiday when you play for certain teams.
Yeah, and that's the issue. And by the way, I want to say this: when the clubs listen to the fans,
Yeah.
right? The fans are basically a part of the clubs, right? So this will have a major influence in, and I'm sure the issue that I'm really having is that it's the biased nature in which it is applied.
Yes.
So if it was even a case where, all the countries that they didn't want none of the players to go,
Yeah.
for the international breaks, right? But it's a case where it's just some countries. Some countries they are fine with it, right?
Yes.
The bigger markets. I think that's another thing, the bigger markets,
Yes.
right? Where if the player goes to play for that market, right, club jersey sales could be driven by the player's performance.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having, the biased nature in which it is being applied.
What I want to know is yeah, they have two Argentinian players there. Buendue, what name?
Buendia and
Buendue
Martinez.
and Martinez, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any announcements about them being called up for international duty, but I'm pretty sure Martinez is called up on a regular for Argentina. I'm not sure about Buendia because he's not as important to the Argentina setup yet. Um, I think he has probably been capped, but I know Martinez is definitely get more game. He's probably them number one keeper now, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
if I'm not mistaken, he's their number one.
So he should be going on international duty then, right?
Yep.
So we don't hear no complaints or no problems there. So I guess we see that where the bias is, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
clear to see. And
And
anybody
what?
who try to tell you different, you must be blind, because it's just a level of respect that is put on other countries' football compared to ours, I guess.
Yeah. And you see the thing about it, Primo, is the bullying,
Yeah.
It's almost like they're trying to bully the players and make the environment as uncomfortable for them as possible
Yeah.
to deter them, right,
Yeah.
from wanting to go, because they cannot not release the player,
Yeah.
right? But that is a major, that will prevent other UK players, from that will facilitate hesitancy
Yes,
in
man.
UK players signing up to play for
Of
Jamaica,
course.
when
Of
their
course.
club is bullying them, and we saw even with David Moyes and Mikel Antonio,
Yeah,
it's
man.
almost as if he was trying to, lead, Mikel Antonio in a different direction.
Yeah, and the funny thing is you can see these things coming before the international window starts, because usually a week before them start with the murmuring. Just like the last window. And see, same thing again this time. You understand? Them start with the murmuring. Last time they said they sent a physio. The physio was here, but Antonio wasn't here. The physio from West Ham to make sure he doesn't get injured or he's treated properly or something. But still the player don't show up. There's a lot of little things that we see going on where you can see say, oh, they're flexing their muscles. And we are definitely the ones who are suffer. You understand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, and probably this is probably the final point for me personally, but I think it was a Shaquille Smith who said it in my comment section, right?
Yeah.
When I was saying that not clubs rather, countries like Jamaica,
Yeah.
right, should band together and make representation to FIFA and try to lobby FIFA,
Yeah.
right? And one thing that I was saying, I don't know what can be done, but they need to speak to FIFA about it. And what the commenter was saying in my comment section is that they could do something like what Brazil did, right, when they reached out to FIFA, right, and
Yeah.
asked FIFA to give a ban so that some of the players
Yeah.
could not play for their respective clubs for a certain amount of time. So
Yeah.
I think the ban was like for 5 days, right? Certain players could not feature for their club in that time period, right?
Okay. If they were not released.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay.
man. And that was during the whole, the red listed saga. But the thing about it though is that that's only for if that precedent has been set for a club not releasing the player.
Yeah.
Right? The clubs have to release the player, But what I have an issue with is the bullying and how they make it very uncomfortable. Right? Grant has not played. This is the player's livelihoods we're talking about in a Primo.
Yeah.
And
That
you need to find a way to cut out that, the
yeah,
bullying and the
because there's no
discrimination.
other word for that except a prejudice.
Exactly.
You
And
understand?
the uncomfortable manner of the environment that they're trying to foster to try and prevent these,
To discourage, not even prevent the ones that are playing
Exactly.
now, but like you said, to discourage players in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not a new problem, guys. It's a problem, it's an age-old problem that has been taking place for quite some time. And Jamaica is not the only country that is experiencing it, but it's time. It's time that countries like Jamaica, band together, right? Their strength in numbers, make representation to FIFA to try and get this issue sorted out, right? In terms of stop the bullying, stop the discrimination,
Yeah.
stop trying the power dynamics in the intimidatory tactics.
Yeah.
Any final words, Primo?
Not just that I agree with you 100%. It is something as a Reggae Boys fan, it's kind of disheartening. For like just be bullied everywhere you turn in terms of when you're trying to put a squad together.
Yeah.
From like a team perspective, player perspective, it does the team no justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we definitely need to sort out ourselves because one of the major reasons why we receive this treatment is because of how we're perceived as a footballing nation.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, so that's my final thought, bro. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man, no problem. And guys, again, remember, get promoted to 2K, right? Don't play, get promoted to 2K. All right, guys. So,
All right, bless up.
yeah, man, that's our 2 cents. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.
All right.